Last month, the UK Supreme Court declared that the words woman and sex in a 2010 equality bill referred to biological women and biological sex, which called into question where trans people might use the bathroom, leaving trans people to wonder, do they just not use the bathroom in public spaces anymore? Do trans women now use the men's bathroom, which would pose more of a risk to themselves than they ever posed to cis women in the women's room? And then right after that, J.K. Rowling posted a picture of herself on her private island smoking a cigar looking like a Disney villain, all with the audacity to use the hashtag women's rights. But ladies and gentlemen, everyone else, we've been here before. This is a history channel, and we all know history always has the answer. And if JK wants to talk about women's rights so friggin' badly, let's talk about women's rights. Let's take it back to the Victorian era, where all the seeds of modern society start. Places like shops, church, workplaces, pubs, even restaurants were starting to get this new thing called a public bathroom. Before this, men would have to relieve themselves on the street, and women would have to tough it out. Obviously, Victorian era, no self-respecting woman was about to show off anything in the street. But these new public restrooms were for men only, of course. Women would be slave to something called the urinary leash, which is really just the amount of time you can go without needing a wee. An hour or two, maybe. So women doing the shopping, going to church, or even working, yes, Victorian women worked, could only do so for a very short amount of time, unless they had a friend who lived in the area they could go visit, or had a secret back area where they could pee. So while men could go out and pursue the outside world for long periods of time, even days, women kind of had to stay close to home, lest nature call, which a lot of people think was intentional, a very physical way to literally keep women at home, keeping them non-participating and non-threatening to the privilege that men have enjoyed their whole lives, confining women to the role that society has placed upon them. Knowing that now, does this seem like it's the same thing to trans people? If the government makes it impossible for trans people to leave, especially for long periods of time, they can't pursue greater goals. They can't participate as visibly in society, literally kept hidden away. And when we look back on this in 140 years, what are we gonna think? Hashtag women's rights.